because this is life and death. It's life and death. You have to draw a line in the sand and say enough is enough. You want to get sober. You're willing to do anything to get sober. And that means changing everything. So if you're stuck in addiction and you can't get sober, realize that being addicted is a symptom of an underlying cause. You could even have a concurrent mental disorder. A lot of addiction is concurrent with some kind of psychiatric or psychological disorder, and the drugs and the alcohol are a way to self-medicate. So as long as you are aware of where your addiction is coming from, whether it's coming from a concurrent disorder or a genetic predisposition, or if it's a life situational trauma-based addiction, then you can properly approach the addiction from the cause rather than the symptom, which is the drinking and the drugging and the repetitive behaviors and the compulsions, right? So if you're still stuck, being aware of where your addiction is coming from is the first important step. But for me, and in my experience, what prevented me from getting sober all those years when I attempted to get sober on my own was that I was unwilling to put aside my ego. I thought that I could do it all myself, that I could handle it, that I didn't need any outside help. I definitely didn't need any 12-step program. I certainly didn't need a rehab. I could do it all on my own. And I thought this way with my pride for 6 years. Out of 7 years of severe substance use, I thought that I could get a handle on things by myself. And eventually I couldn't. I collapsed into my addiction. I gave in, and I actually started identifying as an addict. At a certain point, I stopped fighting because I realized that my efforts were futile. So why not just give in and accept myself as being an addict, and that's how my life was going to end. I thought my life was going to end. I thought I was either approaching an early grave or I was approaching the streets. I definitely didn't think I'd be alive here today to speak before you, but here I am. So the most important thing I had to do was to put down my pride, set aside my ego, and ask for help. Admit that I had a problem, admit that it was outside of my control and that I was powerless to do anything. I was powerless to do anything because a problem can't be solved on the level of its creation. And if I cause the problem, the addiction, then I'm not going to be the one to solve it. I need outside help. I need somebody to throw me a ladder or throw me a rope to drag me out of the hole that I dug for myself. So that's the first and most important step, is to ask for help. Once you're at the point where you realize that the addiction has taken over your life and you need to get help, but you think you can do it on your own, you need to set aside your ego and just ask for help from a family member, from a trusted friend, even from a personal support worker, going to telehealth. You can ask whoever, going to a hospital, whatever it is, you need help, ask for it. The second thing is, what is your willingness to actually get sober? What is your willingness to change and put aside the drug or the substance or the behavior? Your willingness to change has to be stronger than your willingness to go back to your old behaviors. And you also have to have a willingness to never go back to your old life, because this is life and death. It's life and death. You have to draw a line in the sand and say enough is enough. You want to get sober. You're willing to do anything to get sober. And that means changing everything. You have to be willing to put aside your old friends in addiction. You have to be willing to change your environment, to move to a new location, to put yourself through a 90-day rehab, to go to AA meetings or NA meetings, or perform the SMART recovery. Whatever recovery programs are available, whatever resources are in your area, use them. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get sober, because drugs and alcohol addiction will take your life from you. It'll take your family. It'll take everything. It'll take your soul. I've been there. You have to be willing to fight for your life if you truly want to get sober and unstuck. And lastly, once you have the willingness to never go back, you have to have the willingness to change your associations and to create new associations. I think one of the most powerful tools that we have in changing our behavior and our habits is to create new associations. But to create new associations, we need to disassociate ourselves from our old pattern of life. I believe that a lot of the times when we feel the urge to use or to drink or to get drunk and to go back to our old way of life, whether it is to cover up a problem or a bad experience that happens during the day, generally I notice that the urges come through some association in my environment or a triggered memory that activates a semantic network of schemas that hold memories and associations of using drugs in a particular environment or a setting. It could be even a smell or an image on TV or a certain song or a rhythm that brings me back to those days of when I was high and when I was using. What you need to do is to design your environment so you have new associations that disconnect you from those prior associations that you've already established through your habits of use. So that can mean throwing away your old friends, changing your style of music, changing what you watch on TV, changing your daily walking patterns, changing your daily habits, creating new routines that are healthy and will support you in your recovery, like going to the gym or proper diets, meditation, being mindful, practicing writing techniques, things that can focus you in on the moment so that you're not thinking about the past and you're not worrying about the future and you're not fantasizing. You want to stay away from fantasizing. Once you start realizing that you're fantasizing about using, the deceitful lies will start taking root, saying that, well, if I just use this one time, it'll be different. It's not going to be like last time. I still have these thoughts today and I'm almost 2 years sober. These are deceitful fantasies that try to get you back into that old behavior that you lived in addiction. And those three things that I think are key to getting unstuck from addiction are setting aside your ego and asking for help, having absolute willingness to change and to never go back to your former life, and then the willingness to follow through with that change by establishing new associations, so a change of habit, a change of routine, a change of career, a change of environment, a change of friends. You have to change everything. And also creating new associations and designing your environment so it's conducive to your recovery. So you have new positive associations, new interests, new hobbies, things that can fulfill you without the need to pick up a drink or to pick up a bag, right? So I hope this video finds you well. Give me a like and subscribe. Check out this one for more.